Hi, I'm Luke. I interviewed my granddad, Ronnie Carroll. In this story, Ronnie tells us what it was like to be a Royal Marine Commando in the Second World War, the training they had to undertake in Scotland, and also coming under friendly fire from American troops within Holland. I hope you enjoy his story.
Well, you know my name, Ronnie Carroll, and I live in Warton here, and I've done quite a while. And so, yes, I'm getting on a bit now. I know I don't look my age, but I'm 92. Well, another thing, of course, was when I was in the war.
What did you serve in the war then?
Well, I was a Royal Marine Commando.
Right.
You know what a commando has to do?
Nope.
My word, he has to go in first and make way for the troops to come in, you know,
right.
by breaking open the enemy's lines or whatever. Anyhow, it was very, very interesting, it was. And we used to train, we had to go up to Scotland.
Right.
When we were training to be a commando. And right in the mountains, we had to have packs on our back and we had to climb up this and jump down and leather like that, all training, you know, for when we were doing any invasion of any country, which we did do. We had to do a stint in Burma, you know. Then you went on the boat. No, you know, there was no plane then. There was only fighting planes. And we went on this boat. We left Scotland, and on this passenger boat as it was, there was all Marines and other soldiers as well. And as soon as we got out there, the word went round, everybody to the side of the ship and keep a look out for those walking sticks. Keep a look out for the periscopes. Then, you know, which we had to all stand around, keep looking, you know, and every now and then a shout would go up and everybody look, and immediately the boat would start manoeuvring like this, you see, in case he did fire any thing at us. Very good. So well, anyway, on the way we had to stop at Durban, you know.
Right.
And half of us were allowed ashore one day and the other half the next day.
Right.
And I went ashore with some of these other lads, and of course by the time we'd been ashore and had a few drinks, we were all a little bit saucy, you know.
Merry.
Yes, yes. And I was a corporal then at that time. You're in charge of so many men.
Right.
Oh yes, I had to lead them, you know. And I would go to the meetings of the captains to discuss where we were going to attack any of the enemy or where we were going round. And then I would have to tell these men that were under me then. And coming back, like, we were a bit too loud and singing as we came onto the boat, and unfortunately for us, the captain was there of our you know, commandos. And next thing I knew, me and this bloke I was with was shoved into a cabin and locked in.
You were locked in?
Yeah.
For being a bit too merry.
Well, next morning we were taken before the captain, you know, and what do you mean by coming back drunk like you were, shouting, showing off and all that business? So anyhow, I was demoted to ordinary Marine. Royal Marines invaded Holland, round in the coast and on the countryside, and get round the Germans, you know, and all that. Yeah, yeah, very good. Well, it wasn't very good, it was very bad. We were advancing through Holland and doing very well, and suddenly one of the lads who'd been outside, you know, peering out, said, "Hey, look, there's a van over there, a railway carriage over there." He said, "I've just seen it through the trees." So I said, "Right, well, go and have a look, see what." So he went and had a look. When he come back, he said, "Hey, it's all food inside." "Oh, I packets of food and all." I said, "Right, come on, let's go." So we went to this carriage on the railway, opened the door, and there's all this food in packages and telling you know, so we were all starting eating. We'd only been there a few minutes, suddenly bang, 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 shots cart coming in the van and all that. We all flat down on the ground, we all went flat. I thought, oh dear, it was like the Germans had, you know. So I said to the men, crawl over there to where the embanking's up and get behind that embankment, so, which we did do well, crawled, so, and there were still firing odd shots, you know, but nobody got hit. So I gave the order, said, well, fire a couple of shots back at them, you know, so we did do still another couple of shots. And then suddenly a voice comes, "Who's that there?" You know. I said, "Hey," he shouted in English. I said, "What English? Who are you?" He said, "We're the Americans." Oh, I said, "What?" He said, "What are you doing in our van?" I said, "Come on in." So they came over, the Americans, about a dozen or more Americans, you know, with another leader. We all shook hands and said, "Oh, we fancy doing." He said, "Well, we just saw you and we didn't know you were English and we're pinching our food. We're just coming for it."
So you'd stumbled across their supplies.
Yes, their
started eating their supplies.
So they gave us quite whatever we wanted.
Nice.
And had a drink. They had a drink of wine. There was wine and lemonade and all that. Very good. That was interesting. That. And then, of course, we had to go on and fight the Germans again. We kept on. The Germans were going back, and we were going after them and forcing them to go back, and until we came into Germany itself, and then at Dusseldorf, we stopped there, and not long after the report came through, war finished.
You'd won.
Yeah. Everybody stay where they are, and you know, take control of the place. I've got a letter at home from the Chief of Police, telling us how we were to behave when we were in that town, and not to go out with any girls, and definitely not to marry any German girls, he said.
But you did go out with them?
Oh, they came out, they came across to where, you know, we were in these, we made sort of a great big barrier, you know, when we were behind there. I've got a letter there from the chief of the English, you know, congratulating me on my well and all that, you know, when I was demobbed, when he got demobbed. And it's marvellous how he talks about how we made control of that town. And he says, and one thing we noticed, none of you went out with any of the German girls, which he didn't know. Yes.